The invisible traps in your KOI routine. Why great fish fail to grow and shine. You do everything right. Or so it seems. Still your koi don't grow like others. Still their color's dull. Still something feels off. The worst part. You blame yourself. Or worse, accept it as fate. But koi don't fade without reason. They don't shrink for nothing. They respond to their world. And that world is shaped by you. What if the real issue isn't what you've missed, but what you've done too often? There are patterns, habits, and small decisions that sabotage your koi silently. And unless you know what to look for, you'll keep repeating them. Let's uncover these invisible traps. And finally set your koi free to become what they were meant to be. Chapter 1. Genetics isn't everything. Let's clear something up right now. Good genetics don't guarantee a great koi. You've probably seen it before. 2 koi from the same breeder, same lineage, same tank. Fast forward a few months, and one is stunning. Bold colors, thick body, confident swimmer. The other, faded, small, and forgettable. It's not a mistake. It's a misunderstanding. Genetics give koi potential. But potential isn't performance. What matters most is whether that potential gets activated or wasted. The difference lies in everything the koi experiences after it leaves the breeder. Water quality, light exposure, temperature shifts, feeding frequency, stress from other koi. Each one acts like a switch. Turn the right ones on, and the koi's true colors emerge. Get them wrong, and the colors fade into silence. This is why top breeders don't rely on bloodline alone. They build entire systems to support genetic expression. They fine-tune oxygen levels, monitor pH daily, schedule exact feeding times with tailored nutrition. They know that the environment is the key. And you should too. So if your koi aren't thriving the way you hoped, don't blame your choice. Look at the setup. Look at the daily care. Look at what might be turning off the very genes you paid for. Because koi don't just need good genes. They need good conditions to become great. Chapter 2. Clear water, fading fish. Everything looks fine on the surface. Your pond is crystal clear. The filters are running. The fish are feeding well. But one day you take a closer look and realize something is off. The red on your kahaku is losing depth. The sumi on your showa looks washed. Even the clean white base begins to dull, like porcelain left in the sun too long. You replay your routine. Same food, same feeding time, same water changes. So what changed? Here's the quiet truth. Koi color loss doesn't begin with what you see. It starts with what you don't. Mineral levels, GH, KH, trace metals, may have drifted. Your tap water might contain chlorine or chloramine that standard dechlorinators don't fully neutralize. Worse, the koi's internal systems for processing carotenoids, the pigments responsible for red and yellow tones, begin to break down under water stress, long before signs appear on the surface. And don't forget microscopic irritants. Heavy metals like copper can come from something as simple as a hose left baking in the sun. Your water may look perfect, but koi aren't measuring with their eyes. They're absorbing it with every breath and scale. You can't see pigment cells dying, but your koi live it daily. So if you want to preserve their beauty, don't just check the basics. Check the water's story, because clarity is never the whole truth. Chapter 3. Invisible stress, visible stagnation. It's easy to assume that koi stop growing because of poor diet or bad genetics. But in many cases, the real cause is harder to detect, and much easier to ignore. Chronic environmental stress is one of the most underestimated reasons why koi fail to thrive. It doesn't come with dramatic symptoms. There's no flashing, gasping, or rapid illness. Instead, it silently rewires your koi's biology. When exposed to continuous low-level stress, whether from unstable water parameters, sharp temperature swings, mechanical vibration, or dominance behavior, koi enter a metabolic state where growth hormones are suppressed. Their immune systems are dulled. Their digestion becomes less efficient. To you they look fine. To them they're just surviving. And even more deceiving, stressed koi often eat normally. That's what fools most keepers. But instead of converting nutrients into muscle and pigment, their bodies divert energy into internal regulation and defense. The result? No gains. No visible illness. Just a koi that refuses to move forward. Watch for koi that stay low in the water during feeding. That avoid others. That never seem eager. These aren't random quirks. They're early signs of a pond that's sending the wrong signals. Reducing stress isn't about eliminating noise completely. It's about creating consistency. Stable water. Predictable light. Gentle flow. Peaceful feeding zones. Because koi don't just grow in good ponds. They grow in calm ponds. Chapter 4. Washed out by the wrong light. Your koi's color depends on more than just food and genetics. There's a third element, just as vital, yet often forgotten: light. Not just whether they get enough of it, but how they get it. Koi pigment is managed by chromatophores, specialized skin cells that respond to light exposure. When light is filtered, consistent, and natural, those cells stay active, maintaining vibrant reds, deep blacks, and clean whites. But in many ponds, lighting is far from ideal. Direct overhead sun, intense midday exposure, or long hours of artificial LED light can do more harm than good. Overexposure leads to pigment fatigue, especially in sensitive koi like kahaku or shiro atsuri. On the flip side, areas of constant shade prevent proper activation of color cells, leading to faded, flat-looking koi despite perfect food and water. It's not just the brightness. It's the balance. A pond without variation, without the rise and fall of natural light, confuses the koi's biological rhythm. Their color systems are built to react to subtle changes, not static glare or shadow. And because koi don't have eyelids or shade from intense light, they absorb every photon directly. This slow overstimulation can bleach reds into orange and soften blacks into gray, all without a single visible warning. So next time you wonder why one fish looks dull while the other thrives, ask yourself this: are they experiencing light as nature intended, or are they being drained by it? Chapter 5. Feeding more, growing less. It's a common belief. If your koi aren't growing fast enough, feed them more. More meals. More pellets. More protein. It seems logical until the opposite starts to happen. Growth slows. Color dulls. Water quality dips. And your koi, instead of thriving, look bloated, tired, less elegant. So what's going wrong? Overfeeding initiates a cascade of biological stress. First, koi consume beyond their metabolic need. Excess nutrients don't get converted to muscle or color. They turn into waste. That waste clouds the water, elevates ammonia, and forces your pond's biofilter into overdrive. As ammonia rises, oxygen falls. As oxygen falls, koi metabolism slows. And just like that, growth shuts down. Worse, koi begin storing energy as fat, leading to visibly rounded bodies, distorted proportions, and sluggish swimming behavior. Not growth, just accumulation. And because koi continue to beg, regardless of how full they are, keepers misread enthusiasm as hunger, reinforcing the cycle. This is not just a feeding mistake. It's a misunderstanding of koi biology. Proper growth requires digestion, assimilation, and elimination to work in balance. Disrupt one and all three fail. So what's the answer? Feed less. Feed smarter. Observe more. Match portion to water temperature. Space meals for digestion. Avoid automatic feeding when pond conditions are unstable. Because in koi keeping, more isn't always better. Sometimes restraint is the ultimate act of care. Chapter 6. Stability wins the race. After everything, genetics, food, lighting, stress, you may still find yourself asking, why isn't my koi performing like it should? Here's what many overlook. Koi are not built to adapt to chaos. They are built to thrive in stable, predictable environments. Growth, color development, immunity. Each relies on internal rhythms. And those rhythms break the moment your external patterns fluctuate. Feeding 5 times one week, twice the next. Water temperature spiking from poor shading. Filter media changed too aggressively or too often. Each tiny disruption chips away at the koi's ability to optimize itself. Because koi aren't just reacting to what you do, they're reacting to how consistently you do it. That's why mediocre water quality that stays steady often outperforms perfect water that swings from high to low. That's why fish in simpler setups sometimes outperform those in high-tech, overtuned ponds. Your koi need a world they can trust. A world where pH doesn't suddenly shift. Where food comes when expected. Where the sound of your approach signals routine, not surprise. Stability allows koi to allocate energy toward growth instead of survival. So instead of asking, what can I add next? Ask, what can I hold steady? Because the final breakthrough won't come from another supplement. It will come from making good practices repeatable. And when that happens, koi stop reacting and start progressing. The journey has only just begun. Now you know more. You've looked beneath the surface, into light, into rhythm, into the quiet reasons koi stop growing or shining. You've uncovered truths that many overlook. That more food isn't always better. That stillness matters as much as nutrients. That consistency is more powerful than constant change. But here's the best part. It's not too late. Whether your koi are young or old, vibrant or fading, your next decision can change everything. Because koi are resilient. They don't demand perfection. They just need you, present, patient and tuned in. So go back to your pond. Not with urgency but with understanding. Listen. Let it teach you. Let your koi teach you. Because from now on you won't just be feeding fish. You'll be cultivating beauty, balance and trust. This is the deeper joy of koi keeping. And your real journey is just beginning.